Hello, my name is Magnus Gylje and I'm the editor-in-chief of the Nobel Prize digital channels. Very nice to be in this video. And you are now at the Nobel Foundation in Stockholm, where the Nobel Foundation sits and Nobel Media that I work for and run with my great team, Digital Publishings. And today is Nobel Day. It's the day when all the laureates will receive their prizes in a ceremony in Stockholm and the Peace Laureate in Oslo. So I thought I would show you around into the core of the Nobel Prize, which is one of the cores is in this room, which is the boardroom of the Nobel Foundation. The different prizes, Nobel Prizes, are given by different prize awarding institutions. So we have in categories, we have physics, we have chemistry, we have medicine, we have literature, peace and economic sciences. And I work very much with the fullness and the combination of these prizes. So we run a digital operation with an editorial team here that are just absolutely great. Sometimes I take advice from Shri. And then we also work with people in Oslo and with outside producers such as BBC, National Geographic and Swedish television that is also great. And we work with all the prize awarding institutions and coordinate with them. And today it all comes together. So if we're going to have a look around here, we have a big meeting table, and these are very popular chocolate medals. It's one of very few things that we actually put our branding on, and these are actually also core to the banquet. So on the banquet they are being served with coffee. We also have a dessert, but they are there. And they are available for purchase at the Nobel Prize Museum in Stockholm, which you need to visit as well. Over here we have Alfred Nobel himself, the inventor of the prize. What he said when the way it started was that he wrote in his last testament and will that he wanted that his funds should go to the Nobel Prize, and it should be awarded to those individuals that have conferred the greatest benefit to humankind, regardless of nationality. And that's something we also work very much with today in our operations and how we try to think about what we're doing. So it's really a global prize, and our audience is very global, very interested in knowledge, and very kind. So I'm extremely proud to have this also digital audience that me and my team work a lot with.
Can you give us an idea of some of the numbers?
Yes, we've had some successes. Let's say in October now. October is also when we announce all the new laureates. On a regular day we had around 15 million in our channels per day across the prizes, the 6 days. Then many of the major media outlets in the world also take all our official material, and that you can't measure, as you all know. So I would say it's in the hundreds of millions. Our biggest day ever has been International Women's Day, because we have worked a lot with showing the achievements of women that has been awarded the Nobel Prize. So we did a video that also portrayed all women through history. And on that day we reached around 50 million people. So I'm very proud of that, and it's a continuous effort. I would try to do that all the time, so it's something we think a lot about, also to inspire new generations. But the idea is also to be relevant every day. With the legacy of the Nobel Prize, everyone awarded the prize and what that has meant for humankind. We can do lots of storytelling that is from today, like an event we do, an exhibition we do, an interview we do, but also about Marie Curie or about Rabindranath Tagore or something like that. So we work very actively from an editorial perspective. And here are the medals. It's replicas, so no need to steal them. And this is Alfred Nobel that is portrayed there. And also,
is he on the flip side of everyone?
Yes, he's on this side of everyone. So this is the peace one. So that will be given in Norway today by Gustav Vigeland, which was a sculpture as well. And the back side is different, dependent on different categories. And this is a replica of the Testament, where I just described that he also named the prize awarding institutions in it, and all of them accepted to award this prize. And why we're here today, I think, is extremely much due to their very hard and very careful work in thinking through who should be awarded and on what grounds. So it's really like you just add the last sort of touches to something that's been around for so long. And I think it's also something that, one thing that happens in this room is actually that all laureates come here towards the end of the week to also look at their medal, sign the guest book, and have a discussion with some people from the foundation. And then I think it also becomes very clear that they are part of history. For example, Kip Thorne, that was awarded for gravitation waves, sat in this chair, and then also saw an image of Albert Einstein that predicted gravitation waves and also was awarded the prize, but for another achievement. And I think that was very emotional for them. And then I would say, if there's one more thing I picked up from this year's laureates, because I met some of them, my colleagues have met others when we have interviewed them and so on. Very many today also talk about movements, about bigger groups of people in that it's so many connected to doing science or doing other kind of work. Maybe literature is where it's a bit more individual. And that's something that has also been very interesting around gravitational waves, for example, when it's LIGO and so on. The good thing is that very many of these groups come here and celebrate in a bigger context, even though they are not one of the laureates. So that's very nice to see how they work with that. So that's about it. That's Berta von Suttner over here. That they think also influenced Alfred in creating the Peace Prize category. Not so much is known about it. She was also actually later awarded the Peace Prize when the prize was started, and that was after Alfred's death. And this is old board records and things like that from very early 1900s. So I would say that this is a very this is the most institutional room in the Nobel sphere. What I think we want to work very actively with is to be for everybody, to be out there, and we are doing events around the world. We're trying to do lots of things with school visits, with young students. We go to India or to Brazil or to Japan and many other countries. We just went to Madrid, for example. But it's very nice to also show this kind of core, but in a way history stands still. So it's a pleasure to be here. And the last thing that will happen during Nobel Week is that all this year's laureates will gather in this room. And then they have usually become like a class, because they have done so much together. They have been awarded a prize together. They have been in many kinds of activities together where we have interviewed them, or they have met school classes, or they went to receptions. So usually it's a very nice and friendly atmosphere, and we hope that they keep in touch with each other and also with us, since we try to do many outreach activities these days around the world and in digital channels. We do some pure digital activations with prize laureates these days too. And this is an old chair, Alfred's chair. So here we're very careful with what we put on the table. And as said, now it's just a few hours before the ceremony starts. So it starts in Oslo with the Peace Prize ceremony. So we broadcast that live, of course. We work with Norwegian television. Many people around the world really tune into this, and what we always ask them is, where are you watching from? Like I was inspired by Shri to ask, and that really led to that global communication between people in our common fields, which is very nice to see people coming together. And then that is over, and there will also be the lecture in the Peace Prize ceremony. And then we head over to Stockholm, Sweden, and the concert house for the ceremony here, where everybody else receives their award. And this year it is actually 14 laureates, which is very many. So we have many good and important achievements and individuals to work with. So we are in for a ride, and I think it's going to be a very exciting day. And what also happens from a local perspective is actually that many people in Sweden watch the ceremony from home. It's being broadcast on television. And they also actually watch the dinner, which is also broadcast. So it's both who's going there and what they're eating, but it's also very much from an editorial perspective, short explainers about all the awarded laureates and their work, and many from earlier years also attend actually. We did a meeting yesterday in Gothenburg called the Nobel Week Dialogue, where we had 5 laureates, and some of them are coming, such as Stephen Chu and Peter Doherty. So I think it's going to be a very interesting day, and you should all join us on our social channels and on our website, the hub of everything, nobelprize.org, so to follow along.
Can you tell me what it means to you to work for the Nobel Prize?
To me, it means quite a lot, I would say. That you try to do your best to tell the stories about their achievements. I think we live in a time where it's very important to represent progress, to represent problem solving, to stand for facts and for humanity. And me and my brilliant colleagues are doing our best in what we can do in that. And me personally have a background very much coming from the publishing and the media industry, so we're trying to adapt very much in those kinds of things in what we do every day. So that's my part of the whole overall thing. But it means a lot, and I would say I am proud about doing it, and I have respect for that. It's been for so long, and will be around for so long as well. So, but at the moment, you think about it, and as I mentioned earlier, for the greatest benefit to humankind, we're trying to think about what that means in our actions and our publishings, and what we can do to extend these achievements in a good way, and also put some focus on initiatives or on maybe more topics of our time that we try to address in our outreach activities, such as meetings or exhibitions and so on. So it means a lot.
What are we looking at?
So we are at Sturegatan. So this is actually, it snowed this night, and the sky is actually clear. So for some magic reason, it became a rather magic day in Stockholm. So this is very much in the heart of Stockholm.